All right, welcome back. We got a super quick update. I got the Flagburg promo in, so I'm just gonna give you a little update with this. This card has made the deck insanely good, and I will go over it as we get into it. The ride line, we are keeping it the same as we've had it before. The starter, the Rancor chain, the Husk Dragon, and the Flagburg. Um, Yeah, there's not a lot to say about this. These two are still the best grade 1 and 2 in Stokia, so we're going to keep abusing them until they either choice restrict them or print something better. Um, I don't think you need to use the Flagberg ride line because I don't think it's that great. It takes a lot of soul, and I'd rather save soul to use it for other things. We have a fat stack of grade 3s. 3 Flagberg. Flagberg is Persona riding is really good in this deck. It forces your opponent to do more out of their hand for the small little pokes that you're gonna do. Very nice. Inlet Pulse. If you don't have this, it's unfortunate because this card is insanely good for Stokia, but it's absolutely mandatory in this deck. And then 4 copies of Shelling Dragon. Now Shelling Dragon, he can potentially get cut down a couple copies in the future. What I found out. He's not super great after you've seen the one. So he's pretty much discard fodder. So what he does is if he's in your back row center, he can move to either rows, which is kind of nice. Doesn't come up very often, but sometimes you're just like, I need a attacker more than or I need to move him to the front row for some odd reason. You have that there. The second ability is why you really use him. At the beginning of the battle phase, if he's in your center back, you can counterblast 1. He gets 10k and can attack from the back row. So you can get 6 attacks a turn for a counterblast. The deck's a lot more counterblast heavy now, but as long as you see your prize tridents, you're pretty fine. When we get set 7, that's when we'll have I'll be able to abuse this a little bit more because of the new grade 2 coming out. That is it for our grade 3 count. I don't think this will be changing anytime soon. I actually play 5 grade 2s, so Ascendance Assault is still insanely good in this deck. So we have to play him. And then 1 of Aggress Blue Dragon. Aggress Blue Dragon is awful. Like, he's straight awful, but I want to guarantee that I'm seeing my 5 attacks a turn. So in it's pretty important that you see him. He's also a Soul Blast, which is kind of important. So you don't have to burn 3 counterblasts in a turn. You can have an Inlet Pulse, the Shelling Dragon in him, and it's 2 Soul Blast, 2 Counterblast, which isn't bad. So that is our grade 2 lineup. The grade 1 lineup has pretty much stayed. Oop, drop that. Pretty much stayed the same. Prize Trident is what makes this deck keep running. And then 3 of this beautiful Perfect Guard and 1 of the Elementary Sanctitude. If you can't get your hands on this, 4 Perfect Guards is fine, but I have 1 for this deck, so I'm running it. Um, yeah, Perfect Guards are good. Trident is pretty mandatory for this deck. The order count, because you saw that we're running Rancor and Husk Dragon. 1 copy of Nectar of Sensationalism. I know a lot of people really like this card in this deck, but the issue is you're not really hitting like these big thresholds super quick. So it's really cute that you can give something 15k in a crit, but it doesn't happen very often. So I just play 1 because it really doesn't come up. The order that I think is a lot better is the in search of an ideal far away. It just gives something 5k every time something else attacks. It's insanely good. um, you could you could turn you can either give a unit like plus 15, you can give it plus 20 even. Normally you give it plus 10, but with Shelling Dragon, it's a lot easier to give something like plus 15 to plus 20. So this card is insanely good, and this card is just you're most likely killing somebody on that turn unless they flip their over trigger. And the last 3 orders is 3 Spiritual Body Condensation. I haven't had too much of an issue hitting pieces, So I'm not playing Frozen Resentment. If you have issue hitting pieces, Frozen Resentment is absolutely better. Um, but I also value the 5k that this gives to a unit. That helps you hit over 13k Vanguards, which is very important. Um, yeah, the orders are pretty straightforward. No Sea Breeze, and then no Prison Dragon. I don't think I have room for Prison Dragon, even though I'd kind of want to run them. And I've never been a huge fan of Sea Breeze in this deck, so we're not running Sea Breeze. Trigger lineup is still the same. Over Trigger is still insanely busted. Um, we're playing 7 crit. 7 crit is really good. You could play 8, but I prefer to play the extra draws. I think drawing is very important for these kinds of decks, so I'd rather just have the extra draws. And then 4 heals of any preference. I don't like the effect heal, so we don't play the effect heals. And she's probably the prettiest heal that we got, so we play that. Uh, yeah, that was just a really quick update. There's not this deck didn't like undergo like this radical change that you need to really. If you saw the last profile, you know we're pretty much on the same game plan. It's just shelling cannon. Uh, he adds an extra little ceiling to what your deck can do, so you can have 6 attacks a turn, or you could also have 5 attacks and save counterblast. But having 6 attacks in a turn is just really good. Uh, he hits for 23, so he hits over at defensive at least. So insanely good. Glad this card finally came out. If you're thinking about picking up this deck, or you don't know if you want to pick up shelling because like it's a little pricey, it's like I think $8. Like I'd highly recommend just grabbing like a couple copies now. I think now you absolutely want 4, but I'm sure when set 7 comes around, you're at least cutting 1 or 2 of these, uh, because like I said, you only need to see 1 and keep it in your back row. Otherwise, this is just kind of discard fodder. And if you accidentally discarded or whatever, you have this to Monster Reborn it. Like if you don't see another one, it's yeah. This deck is very solid. It runs very smooth. Not not a lot has changed. So that's it for this one. This is going a little against the like little time chart of decks that I said I was gonna have out, but like I got the promo in, and I was like, well, I should probably throw that out there. Thanks for watching. Be sure to comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in a little bit. Ciao.